Hey, Coach Patrick here in Jersey Nation with a special 5 days to Lake Placid podcast/videocast series. Today is day 3 of this series, which is designed to help you stay zen, stay focused, make sure you're checking off the boxes every single day, heading into race day being successful. If you haven't done so already, be sure to check out our 4 Keys of Race Execution talk, which we do on Friday, which is 2 days out from your race, tomorrow, at the Main Street Theater, 10 a.m. You can get details, RSVP, everything online at facebook.com/Endurance Station, or just drop by the theater at 10 a.m. We're happy to have you come in. It's totally free. We'll get your head screwed on straight, get you ready to go. Okay? So back to day 3. Day 3 is an interesting day. Finally, day 3, you get to actually do some training. I know you probably slept in the wetsuit that I made you put on yesterday, which you never actually used. So today is the day to do it. And the best way to kind of go through the process of thinking about your training is to do it in a way that replicates the conditions that you're going to see on race day. And so we go swim, bike, run, just like we will on race day. And we try and sync up the timing of this with as close to the timing that you'll have on the race itself. So I do recommend that you get up early and get down to the swim start. Walking is probably best because it's really hard to get parking nearby there. And do your swim. Do at least 1 lap of the course. Plenty of time to recover from that. I usually tell people, regardless of the distance you swim, the first half of it should be very easy, just focused on surroundings, terrain, sighting, what are you gonna look at logistically, what's the water entry look like, just sort of checking that out, getting the general vibe of the water. And then the second half of your swim can be a little more race specific. You can pick up the effort a bit, focus on your stroke, focus on the tempo that you wanna have, and then tie that into obviously heading back towards the beach and making sure you're sighting off the right stuff and whatever it is that you wanna do, right? It's a clockwise swim, and you can see that on the course map, so it's a good opportunity for you to kind of practice that stuff out. So, yep, you're down there at 6:30, you're putting the wetsuit on, you're in the water at 6:45, and you're doing your 1 lap or 1 lap plus or whatever it is. Just do me a favor, please sight like you do, even though there's a line under there on the water, do sight. There's people sort of swimming in all sorts of directions, right? You put a bunch of people in the water, they're all gonna do their own thing anyway. So just be sure you don't run into somebody or whatever that may be, right? So do at least 1 lap. Some people love to do 2 because they just love swimming. Some people do 1 and change. Whatever it is up to you, get your swim in and then go get a good breakfast. Plenty of good places in town to get breakfast. Aside from just Starbucks. I love my Starbucks, but aside from just Starbucks, you can do that as well. And then we can move on to the next step of your day. So first order of business is getting up early and getting that swim in at race time. So you kind of get used to the conditions, the setup, all that stuff, right? Next order of business is to get on the bike, and not just any old bike. People will ride their bikes all around town, which is just such a terrible idea because you're surrounded by triathletes who are just not paying attention. Like, I may be walking on the street, but if I'm a triathlete, I'm thinking about like my body composition and what it was 4 weeks ago and what's gonna happen after I eat this bagel, and is it really gonna impact me on race day when we've got more important things to think about, right? And someone's gonna just bam, T-bone them right on the side of the road. So what I do recommend when you have the bike is to work with a friend, with a training partner, teammate, spouse, whatever it may be, and work so you can go practice the descent. So the ideal way to do this is to ride out of town. So not the exact course behind the school and all that, but essentially ride out of town and then ride the climb up out of town, because we do climb out of town, right? Come to the 4 Keys, I'll tell you more. We climb out of town, past that ski jump area, past the bobsled area, right? And then we do the descent down into Keene. And I really want you to practice that. That's a place where a lot of people have nerves. It's a great workout because you get a bit of work climbing up, but then you get miles and no work descending on the way down, and you descend down into Keene. And so the idea here is that you'll basically ride out of town, do the climb and then the descent, and then get picked up there to be brought back into town by a friend, training partner, spouse, whatever it is. And a bonus that you can have lunch down in Keene, great places to eat, totally chill out, no triathletes stalking you, surprising you, glaring at you, measuring your calves with some sort of like digital tape measure or whatever it is that people do these days to each other to psych each other out. And so you just go out there, do that ride, get it done, check the box, and your full race setup, and then you're good. Then you can go ahead and have lunch, right? Okay, so great. We've done our swim already this morning, and now we've done the bike. We practiced that descent, etc. Fantastic. The next order of business is to go ahead and get a run in. Now, most of the times people would want to run right off the bike, but we're going to have lunch because we need to work out and recover and chill, right? We got to eat. And so we're doing that instead. So don't run down in Keene or whatever. And also not a lot of great places to run there that's safe. Do the run later in the day, and I recommend you do that run, before dinner, somewhere within the hour before you go eat dinner that night. Get the run, and that'll keep the metabolism going. It's a little bit cooler at that time of day, a little less crowded with triathletes, and you can tie that metabolism into the food that you're going to be eating to kind of get the benefit of it there. And with the run, we're just shaking our legs out. It could be anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. These training sessions are more about reassurance, making sure we have all the gear, about making sure that we feel good, that our stride is there or our position is there on the bike, that we feel confident in what we have. It's not about putting up a number that we're proud of so that we can go ahead and try and use some flavor of that number on race day. My favorite part about race week in small towns like Lake Placid is that everybody runs so much faster than they do on race day when they're going around town. They're also serious, they're also fit, and they're out to prove something. Just do your thing. Use your watch, run your heart rate, your numbers, your watts, whatever it is. We're trying to dial all those elements of the system in to make sure that we're set. Again, if there's anything that comes up during these training sessions that's an issue with equipment or approach, etc., you still have time to fix it. This is the time you can go back and start talking to your teammates, to your coach, go shopping, pick up some of the stuff that you may need. You may want a different pair of goggles. You may be overly tinted for the swim in Lake Placid, whatever that may be. Now's the time to do it. So you get this day, your third day out is that day to get all this training in. You do your swim, your bike, and your run. We spread them out accordingly. It does take up all day, which makes you a pretty crappy spouse, parent, if you've got other responsibilities. So today's a good day to make sure you have blocked off entirely for yourself. Tomorrow, 2 days out, you have a little bit more time to do some cool stuff, especially if it involves you being off your feet. So stay tuned for that. I'll be back tomorrow with 2 days out from Lake Placid podcast/video. If you guys have questions or concerns, find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Endurance Nation. Shoot us a message over there or join us tomorrow at our 4 Keys of Race Execution Talk, 10 a.m. at Main Street Theater. I'll see you there. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you like it, please share it with a friend. See you guys.